First up, let me come to Nirmal. Nirmal, very nice to have you on the show. Nirmal, what is going on with the Syro-Malabar Church? It seems like not one. Idukki it started. Now it's Thamarassery and several other places. One after the other, we see that everyone is screening this film. I will ask you the same question. Do you think, first of all, that will this film do anything for cleansing up the morals of young minds, number one? And don't you think it's clearly more political than it has to do with moral science?
Right, good evening, and thank you for having me. So I'll just start with this. As a Christian who grew up in Kerala for the most part, I can tell you that summer camps and summer classes are a real thing. They usually happen in the month of April. They usually extend from 2 weeks to 1 month, and they usually have all kinds of activities from group discussions, debates, displaying documentaries, movies, and movie reviews. It's actually very normal among Christian communities and churches to do it during summer camp. So that's not something that they brought out of the blue. And I can even tell you the stories that I have watched. Personally, I saw the movie of The Pursuit of Happiness, which was a story of a struggling single father trying to make ends meet for his 6-year-old son. So any movie with a message is usually shown. Yeah. But the problem here with the Kerala story is that there are 3 things I believe that the community leaders should have looked into, starting with the timing of the exhibition, because we know that we're only barely 2 weeks away from the election. So why do we do it at the brink of the election is a question that we thought about. Number 2 is the political debates that were surrounding this movie, because it's not like any other movie that gives a message. There was a huge political debate that has been going on ever since the release of this movie. And given that there is a political debate that can influence political results, I think they should have thought of that as well. And the third thing they should have thought of is the religious community that has been involved and portrayed and misrepresented in Dr. Shashi Tharoor's words. He says that the religious reality of a community has been misrepresented. So I'll just conclude, while I support the right of a community leader to educate their children on the dangers of extremism or conversion, I think that they should have looked into these factors before going ahead and displaying this to the public.
All right, and I'm very surprised that, and thank you for enlightening me, Nirmal, because I thought that the church generally, because I also attended moral science classes when I was many moons ago, where we were told that cinema is not an art form. Cinema will corrupt you. And I used to sneak and only watch films, and I was the most unpopular student in class because I watched all movies. So, the thing is, it was supposed to be bad. Any kind of whether the Congress party in Tamil Nadu in the initial years, Rajaji has gone on record saying cinema is something which you should totally avoid. So there is one moralistic thing that they take. Oh, it's not an art form. But if you're singing Carnatic music, you're a good girl. And I'm not a good girl, obviously. In Birmingham, they all come out and they protest against a conglomerate. I've seen them, they're doing some very good work. I mean, there is no gainsaying the fact. But the point is that on issues like this, the church keeps quiet. It's almost like we are in it together. It's almost like it is, a promise that is made to each other. Why doesn't someone stand up and say, what are you doing? Why are you showing this film to the children?
You're right. There is no official statement regarding this that has been read by churches anywhere. But there are priests that have come out on their own, not on behalf of a community or any particular Christian denomination. They have come out and said that, yes, it is true that some parts of the movie is actually misrepresented. Yes, there are no 32,000 women. There are probably only 3 women, and they've even named them Nimisha Nair, Sonia Sebastian, and one other girl, Maren Jacob. So these are the actual cases that they know. But the message intended was to show that there are things like this happening and people should be aware. Nothing beyond that is what they're saying. But that's not from the part of the church. It's only a representative of the church who spoke on his behalf, not on behalf of the church. And the other thing is, I don't think this is going to make much of a difference, to be honest. Being from Kerala, I can tell you that the only difference that it can make is probably increase, a slight amount of share for the BJP, and that's not going to be enough for them to win either. Because if you look at these places, Idukki and Wayanad, look at the vote share that the BJP had the last time was 7.25% in Wayanad and 8.5% in Idukki. So Wayanad is where they're going to display the movie again in the coming week. And in Wayanad, even the anti-Christian community is probably 22% of the population in Wayanad. So even if the anti-Christian community, let's say, they watch the movie and they turn to BJP and cast a vote for them, even if that's the case, I don't think BJP has a chance, because their vote share last time was probably close to 7.5%.